What conservation practice do you believe made the biggest impact on your farm?
I think adding small grains.
Okay.
It's a challenge with the prices where they're at. But adding a third crop, then coming back with cover crops. I'm growing as good a corn on my poorer soils as I can on my good soils, and just a corn and soybean rotation.
You had written a book called Grounded, One Farmer's Journey to Regenerative Agriculture. What inspired you to put your story on paper?
So like I said, I'm a co-owner of Pasture Grazed. So I do, the daughter and my son are partners, and my daughter puts on a farm-to-table event every year. And that's really fun to share the things that we grow on our farm.
Yeah. And that's gotten real popular lately.
Right. And so after we did our first one, all of our guests that night, we had them fill out a questionnaire trying to figure out, whether we're doing what the people want. And they all said, I would love to have read something more about regenerative agriculture. And so I guess when we wrote the book, I was talking to our clients. We sell halves and quarters on the beef that we raise on this pasture grazed farm, and probably have 150 customers. And so I was speaking to them, trying to give them some context of where we come from on this farm we call pasture grazed.
I see. Well, and I tell you what, speaking of pasture grazed and the cows and stuff, one of the things I found most interesting is this idea of virtual fencing.
Now it's time for Tara's Corn Corner.
Favorite tractor, green, red, or whatever runs?
Green.
What's louder, the combine or your kids?
Ooh, my kids are growing, so the combine.
Ever named a tractor, and if so, what was it?
No, I have not, but if it would have been Betty.
If your cows could text you, what would they say?
They're ready to move.
That was cute. Corn dog or cornbread?
Cornbread.
What's the worst smell on the farm?
Rotten corn. Or rotten beans.
So, I kind of started to do a little bit of research on my own. I don't have cows, but I know in our small town just outside of Springfield, Waverly, if there was a guy using virtual fencing, his phone would constantly be ringing with "your cows are out, your cows are out." So I'm curious to know on the virtual fencing, what's it like using that? I mean, what are some of the benefits, or maybe even some of the drawbacks that you see using it?
So we put the collars on in early May. I think about May 10th is when we put the collars on. It took about 3 days of training the cows to the collars. And our cows were used to a single strand poly wire. It was visual. They could see it, the white posts out there and the white poly wire, and they were very respectful of that. So we set the boundaries up on the virtual collar, on the virtual fence, just outside of my poly wire. And so they get 2 audible tones as they reach the virtual boundary that we create on our laptop. And so they'll get an audible beep, and they get another beep, and if they get too close, then they'll get a shock.
Yeah.
After about 3 days, we didn't see any more issues. If one gets outside of the boundary that we have created, there's no consequence when they come back. It's not like a dog collar fence where the dog runs through it,
Right.
He gets a shock. He also has to come back and he gets a shock. Well,
Yeah.
this technology, there's no consequence to come back. And then the latest update is if one gets on the wrong side and she continues going the wrong direction, it'll signal them, no, you're going the wrong way. You got to go back the other way. You keep going that way, we're gonna have a conversation, and
There you go.
you're gonna get a consequence. And so, if one gets on the wrong side of the boundary, it doesn't take 10, 15 minutes and they're back.
What conservation practice have you made that you believe's made the biggest impact on your farm?
I think adding small grains.
Okay.
It's a challenge with the prices where they're at, but adding a third crop, then coming back with cover crops. I'm growing as good a corn on my poorer soils as I can on my good soils and just a corn and soybean rotation. There's something about adding that third crop, getting the diverse cover crop out there, adding more biology to the soil, giving Mother Nature more of what she wants. You know, she doesn't, so Mother Nature's not crazy about a monoculture.
Right.
She wants
right.
diversity, you know.
Now, do you?
And I think that diversity pays. But you have to look at all the whole rotation, the 3 years, and maybe look at your dollars per acre.
Right.
You're not gonna make as much on that small grain year, but I think I'm growing good enough corn that's why we do it.
Okay. All right. Well, how about take someone like me, traditionally been a conventional farmer. I like to say that we're minimal till now with, some cover crop that we are experimenting with. But what advice would you have for someone like me who wants to start the conservation practices maybe that you're doing, but doesn't really know where to begin?
All right. Well, so as far, you talk about harvest in your area, in central Illinois, and you're harvesting in mid-September.
Right.
What I think would work terrific for somebody that's never done it is mix in a couple bushels of oats in your fertilizer mix. And even if you spread them on top of the chisel plowing, those oats will germinate and grow. And it's got to get down to 15 degrees to kill oats. You guys have probably 60 days of growing season after harvest when you get to
Right.
15 degrees. And here's the easy part about oats is winter will kill them.
Yes.
It's not like your cereal rye that will green up in the spring, but you've still covered the soil through winter. And until that you go out to do your pass in front of your planter, and oats are the carbon to nitrogen ratio will be low enough that they'll melt away and you do one tillage pass, they're going to disappear, or whatever nutrients they cycle will become plant available to the next crop.
Wow. So oats sounds like maybe the key versus even a cereal rye or even wheat that I see
Cereal
people
rye, like
put
I
in.
said, you need to have a plan A, B, and C how you're going to terminate it come spring. Cereal rye is better maybe for green up in the spring, but I think, we all like to plant corn about as soon as you can. And so you're probably going to get minimal benefit from the cereal rye. And you won't have to worry about it come spring. If you plant oats, it just pulls that worry away about what am I going to do with it come spring.
Okay.
You're going to hit it with a soil finisher and you're done.
Hey, we're going to move on to the second part of this. This is, it's supposed to be the fun, corny joke part. It sure doesn't feel fun to me, but here we go. Are you ready for a good corny joke here?
I'm ready.
All right. Why did Pasture Grazed Meat get invited to the dinner party?
I had no idea.
Because everyone knows pasture raised meat comes with extra flavor and soil love.
There you
That's
go.
the best they gave me. Can you believe that? Well, hey, Dan, thanks for spending some time with us and educating us on
Thank you.
conservation and, throwing out some great ideas that someone like myself getting started in this can use. Just a wealth of knowledge, and thank you very much.